Two black twin girls walked into the Crestwood High cafeteria that day, just looking for a quiet lunch, just wanting to blend in, to disappear into the everyday noise. But that's never how things work, is it? The bullies' big voices. Little hearts just couldn't resist. It's like some people see silence and take it as an invitation. They started in with the usual garbage cornering the twins, pounding on the table, putting on a show for the crowd. They had no clue what was coming for them. Here's the twist, the punchline no one expected. Those two quiet girls, they've been learning karate since they could walk. When arrogance runs headfirst into discipline, you better believe the floor ends up covered in bruised egos. You know that sound a high school cafeteria makes when 100 conversations collide? That's the backdrop, the pizza, the fries, the cheap soda, the sun slanting through grimy windows. And way in the corner, there they sat, Jordan and Jasmine Myers, just quietly eating, barely saying a word, trying their best to disappear. But their calm was almost suspicious, like the eye of a hurricane, and it made them stand out even more. Enter Trent Walker, football captain, built like a fridge, mouth like a megaphone, storming in with his sidekick Tyler. He didn't need to say much to put the whole room on edge. He spotted the twins, and you could see he was itching for trouble. With a smirk and a swagger, Trent stomped over, his sneakers squeaking across the linoleum. The room went hush-hush, the kind of quiet you get before a bad storm. He slammed his fist on their table, making food trays jump and a couple kids flinch. He started in with the classic tough guy talk. You two know the rules, right? You don't belong here. Tyler crossed his arms behind Trent, sneering, just waiting to see how the twins would react. But Jordan? She just set down her fork and looked up with eyes like deep water calm. Unreadable. Dangerous. Jasmine didn't even blink. Didn't let the insult land. That silence, that total lack of fear, set Trent off. He kept raising his voice, looking for a spark, demanding respect the only way he knew how, be making someone else feel small. But the twins just sat there. The insults got meaner, louder. Nastier soda got poured out. Food knocked over. The crowd smelling blood. Phones were up, filming. The tension? You could feel it in your teeth. Trent thought he was in control. The twins let the moment stretch. Let the humiliation build until Jasmine slowly stood up, the chair scraping like thunder, and looked Trent dead in the eye. Don't test my patience, she said, low and clear. For a heartbeat, the cafeteria froze. The bullies didn't know how to process a girl like that. Talking back? The crowd didn't either. This wasn't going how anyone expected. Trent tried to save face, pushing farther, getting redder. Tyler got in on it too, squeezing Jordan's shoulder. The crowd braced for the twins to cave. But instead, in one swift, controlled move, Jordan twisted Tyler's wrist back, Popey yelp, and Tyler staggered away. The whole room erupted shouts, chairs scraping, phones shaking. Trent saw his backup crumble, and something snapped. He wound up for a punch big, showy, meant to crush, but Jordan slipped aside, and Trent's fist hit glass, sending cracks spidering across the door and blood down his knuckles. The place went wild. Before Trent could recover, Jordan pulled him off balance, using his own momentum, and dumped him flat on his back on the table. Food and pride spilled everywhere. The man who'd ruled the cafeteria was suddenly just another mess on the floor. You'd think that'd be the end, right? But bullies like Trent, they don't know when to quit. Still stinging, still bleeding. He threw down a challenge for the gym that afternoon, right there in front of everyone. Phones buzzed. Messages flew. In 10 minutes, the whole school knew there was going to be a showdown. The twins went back to their dorm, bandaged up, said little. They'd grown up with this trained every day by their dad, a karate master, reminded by their mom that true strength isn't in the fist. It's in the patience to wait for the right moment. They didn't want this fight, but they understood, in a way only siblings can, that there was no turning back. It was more than just pride. It was about showing every quiet kid in that school you don't have to accept the roles people try to assign you. When the time came, the gym was packed, louder than any official game. Trent arrived with backup Tyler and the rest of his team forming a circle, making sure the twins had nowhere to run. The crowd was hungry for blood or a miracle. But as soon as the fight started, the miracle showed up, just not the way anyone expected. Tyler came swinging, but Jordan's roundhouse sent him flying. Jasmine ducked a tackle and threw her attacker to the floor with a crisp shoulder throw. The crowd lost it cheering, screaming, disbelief everywhere. 3 more boys tried at once. Jordan kneed one in the gut. Jasmine flipped another and kicked the last across the floor. In seconds, 4 football players lay sprawled out, groaning. Only Trent was left, sweaty and shaking, desperate. And then plot twist, pulled a knife. The cheers died, replaced by shrieks. Jasmine stepped in front of her brother, face set, heart pounding. Trent lunged. The blade sliced Jasmine's arm. Blood hit the floor, but she grabbed his wrist, twisted it, and dropped him to his knees. The knife clattering away. Phones filmed. The crowd was dead silent. Then thunderous. Then panicked. Within minutes, the footage was everywhere online, on the news, in group chats across the city. Hashtags trended. Reporters and police swarmed the school. But the real drama played out in the principal's office, where the school tried to cover for Trent because of his rich, powerful father, a man who'd been buying silence for years. But this time, there was evidence, a secret recording, a student body rising up, and a town watching. Under public pressure, the truth came out in front of the whole community. Recordings played, apologies made, handcuffs snapped shut on both Trent and his father. Jordan and Jasmine stood in front of their school, no longer just quiet kids, but the faces of a movement. Their message was clear: silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's just waiting for the right moment to become thunder. Afterwards, the school changed. Hallways were covered in anti-bullying posters. Students shared their own stories. Even former bullies stepped forward to apologize. It wasn't perfect. Healing takes time. But that one fight, broadcast around the world, had cracked something open. A week later, Jordan and Jasmine were invited to speak at a citywide forum. They stood at the podium, hands bandaged but voices strong. "We're not heroes," Jordan said. "We just stopped being silent." The applause washed over them. But that night at home, they admitted to their parents how heavy the weight of being symbols felt. Their mom just smiled. "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be true." Their dad promised, "No one stand alone." The emails started coming on invitation to be the face of a national school safety campaign. The story didn't end in that gym. It grew. It changed their town. It made the quiet kids everywhere just a little braver. So, let me ask, you ever seen someone underestimate the wrong person and pay for it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you want more stories where justice wins, hit like, share, and subscribe. Sometimes the quietest voices echo the longest, especially when the world is finally ready to listen.